So with that little announcement out of the way, there's one more thing that I want to talk to you guys about. And I did not have a chance to do it last week. I'm a little shameful that I didn't get a chance to do so. Because it was going to be in my second show last week, and we couldn't get to it. You hate to see it, but we're right. We're all right over here. Life happens. It is what it is. So we got the Wendy's 4 for 4 special. Now, we brought it up in week number 1, and week number 1, we did a pretty solid job. I think we ended up going 3 for 4. We didn't get that full 4 for 4 meal that we get from Wendy's, but we did a pretty good job in terms of the betting world. This time around, we do have games on 3 different days. We have a game on Thursday between Navy and Memphis. I'll give my best bet for that Thursday game specifically, whether you pick which team to hit the spread or what looks good in terms of over under, that type of thing. We got a few more games on Friday. I'll give a best bet for Friday as well, and then we'll close it out with 2 Saturday games. So that's really the premise of the Wendy's 4 for 4 special for the week 3 edition. And without further ado, let's dive right into it. So these, what you're seeing on screen, are my best bets for week number 3. Now, we'll start with the Thursday game in the left-hand corner. Memphis taking on the Naval Academy. It is an American Conference game. Shout out to those mid-league games, which I'm so excited to come back once we get the MAC play. We'll get weekday action. That'll be exciting to watch too. But for Thursday, in that one game, I got the Memphis Tigers winning. I have them as a 16.5 point favorite. I think they cover this. I'm not impressed with Navy's offense. I'm just not. Even when they played FCS Wagner, they only scored 24 on Wagner. So there's still a lot of work to be done for Navy's offense. I think it'll be a more dynamic offense next season. But for now, Memphis is feeling pretty good about themselves. They just tore apart Arkansas State. I think this game is at home too. That's another caveat as well. We'll do a discount double check real quick to make sure that's actually true. I don't want to give you bad information, especially when it comes to betting. You know, you guys have money on the line. Okay, so Memphis is at home, okay? So Memphis is at home against Navy. Right now, as of Monday morning, it is a 16.5 point favorite. I really like that line at 16.5 right now. As for Friday, I'm going to the opposite side of the country. I'm looking at that Utah State and Air Force game. Now, neither of these teams seem to have the most dynamic offenses. Utah State, yeah, they put up a lot of points, but it's Idaho State. I don't know if Idaho State is actually any good or not. And when we saw them against a real FBS team, they only put up 2 touchdowns. Air Force last week, they won, but Air Force very shaky on offense. They scored 13 against a team that's also making its transition to the FBS level. And look, maybe Sam Houston State is one of those teams that's fundamentally sound defensively. They held BYU to 14, just Sam Houston hasn't figured out a way to put it in the end zone. Either way, right now is a Monday morning. The line is at 46.5 in terms of the over-under. I'm going under here because I'm not convinced by either of those 2 offenses. Speaking of offenses that I'm not very convinced about, I do also have the under for Florida Atlantic at Clemson as of Monday morning. This is at 52.5. Florida, I think this is the type of game. I'm not sold on Clemson's offense, bro. I'm just not there. Yes, they put up 60 points against Charleston Southern, but I'm not there. I'm not convinced that Clemson puts up a ton of points 2 weeks in a row. And then simultaneously, I have more belief in their defense than say what they had in the Duke game, right? I think the Duke game really harbored expectations down a little bit, but I still believe in that defense. I don't think Florida Atlantic is going to score that much. And while I think Clemson is going to ultimately cover, like from a spreads perspective, I don't think there's as many points as I think people think there's going to be. I would go under here too. And to round it out to keep in for the Saturday best bets, I'm looking at Kentucky. Kentucky right now, they are going to play the University of Akron. Akron last week, they barely beat FCS Morgan State. Kentucky didn't look great either, 28-17. But here's the big premise in this, okay? Ball State, they played Ball State week number 1, and they blew out Ball State by 30 points. We did see that happen too. I think Ball State is better than the Akron Zips. That's just where I am right now. They have more experience. And I think that Eastern Kentucky game is going to be a wake-up call more than anything. While Akron is just excited to have a win this year. So I think Kentucky's going to blow out Akron. Give me what's reported as of Monday morning. Give me that minus 24.5.